Coding 14 hours, 12 hours, 10 hours, 6 hours, or even 30 minutes a day does not really matter. As a beginner, your focus should be more on being consistent instead of counting the numbers of hours you're going to put in. Okay, and I have been asked severally by many persons that are just starting out their journey into coding that how many hours of coding a day is ideal. And so in this video, I want to answer the question and give my own opinions on how many hours a day you should code or how many hours a day I code. Okay, but before I continue, if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed to this channel, please do well to smash the subscription button below and give this video a thumbs up. I will really appreciate it. Actually, the numbers of hours you put in learning to code a day counts. I mean, you can compare someone who's coding 8 hours or 10 hours a day with someone who's coding 30 minutes or 1 hour a day. But what you need to understand is that it's not about the numbers of hours you put in learning to code. It's about understanding what you're actually doing instead of forcing yourself to code long hour a day. I think coding 2 hours, quality 2 hours of coding with 100% focus, it's a good use of your time. It's way better than coding 8 hours or 10 hours a day full of distraction, jumping from one tab to the other. You see, most persons think that sitting at the front of a computer for like 10 hours is a quality use of your time, while actually the 10 hours may be full of distractions. You get? So lately I discovered that most times I might be on the front of a computer for like 4 hours, 6 hours, but I am not actually being productive. Most of my time is being spent on going through Twitter, through LinkedIn, and checking what's happening on tech news, all those kind of stuff. So, but when I discovered that most of my time was not actually being in use properly, what I did was I reduced my time to spending 2 hours or 2 hours 30 minutes a day coding. So each time when it's time for me to code, I try as much as I can to remove every form of distraction. I try to put my phone on focus mode, and I try to like close every tab that I'm not using, and I make sure that I spend two quality hours learning to code without any distraction. And I find out that spending these 2 quality hours with 100% focus or try to achieve exactly what I want to learn at that moment is a very good use of my time. Personally, I can't tell you to code an X amount of hours a day, but all I can say is that you should try and be consistent. Even if it's coding like 30 minutes or 1 hour a day, try and be consistent. The goal here is to always see code. Either you're coding or you're reading other people's code is a good use of your time, or if you're debugging errors is a good use of your time. But ideally, on average, spending 2 to 4 hours a day coding is a quality use of your time. If you've been learning to code for some time, or you've been around the industry for a while now, you must have heard of 100 days of code. The goal of 100 days of code is for you to be consistent. That's why one of the rules is to code 1 hour a day and tweet your progress. You see, the whole goal with 100 days of code is to make sure that you code with 1 hour full of focus instead of spending like a long amount of time coding, but you're not actually being productive. Okay, so I encourage you, coding an S amount of time is not the issue. If you can code 6 hours a day full of focus, 100% focus, no problem. If you can code 10 hours a day full of 100% focus, no problem. But if you're just starting out, I will encourage you to code even if it's 30 minutes to 1 hour a day. So the goal is to be consistent, not to spend an X amount of time without being productive. If you're learning to code full time, then you can have maybe 2 sessions of coding, maybe 1 to 2 hours in the morning, another 1 to 2 hours in the evening or in the afternoon when you're free. Okay, but if you're learning to code part time, then you can be consistent with maybe 1 to 2 hours of coding every day. If you do this consistently for 6 months, you're definitely going to see progress. One more point I want to add here is, if you're coding and you find out that you can no longer assimilate, like you're no longer flowing, I think this is a good place to stop. Like if you're used to the Pomodoro time, I think this is a very good place to take a break. I will not encourage you, I will not advise you to continue coding where you're no longer flowing because you want to put in an S amount of time learning to code. That's not a good use of your time. Like you're literally wasting your time. Okay, so when you're coding and you're no longer flowing, take a break, refresh, and come back later. And finally, instead of focusing on the S amount of hours you're putting in, focus on being consistent. Even if it's coding 30 minutes or 45 minutes a day, it's better than coding 12 hours today and you will not come back maybe in 2 or 3 days. I think most persons underestimate the power of micro efforts. So if you're learning to code, try and be consistent, not counting the numbers of hours you're putting in. Okay, and I think that's all for this video. Okay, so if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed, please hit the subscription button below. And if you find value out of this video, please give this video a thumb up. And if you have anything to contribute, please comment box below. I will be willing to read all your contributions. Okay, so thank you and see you next time.